So you've made it this far. 3 edges left to go. Um, this is where it gets tough because you no longer have dead space to work with to replace what you fix and then redo that double turn and things like that. So you have to get kind of creative here for these last ones. You can do one more of these with pretty much the same method that you've been using for all the rest of them, but it's changed a little bit, and you'll see what I mean here in a minute. As far as building these go, main concern is going to be the kite pieces and the big triangle. You don't want to worry too much about the little triangles because you can fix those later with a 3 cycle, and they can kind of just get in the way and make for some clumsy moves and decisions. So in this spot, you're going to have a few different situations with your bar pieces here. Either you're going to luck out and they'll all be paired up correctly where they're supposed to be. You'll come across this situation where all 3 are incorrectly paired, or you'll have a situation with one pair correct and the other 2 are wrong. They're all equally as easy to fix and not too big of a deal, but in order to do this first, you need to pair up a set of these outside bar pieces. You can do this the same way you've been doing, but do keep in mind, since you're trying to build one more of these edges, if you have something already correct, like this orange V piece here, let's save that so that I can use it in assembling this whole edge. So I want to make sure that when I put it somewhere that it's on the outside edge, since that is not broken up by jumble style turns. So with pairing this up, I've got the green and orange bar here and the other one here. So I'm going to put one of them down with the orange facing down, and the other one on up with the orange facing up. And then I can use this as my extra piece for one more go around here. So down, bottom, left, and then it's up inverse, down inverse, 2R, up, down, bring this around, replace it with that extra one you had sitting there, and then up inverse, down inverse, and 2R again to fix all of that. So now you've got this section ready to go. These 2 are still wrong. The bar pieces on both of these are not paired correctly, but we're not quite worried about that yet. So next up, let's see how we can put this together the best. So this orange V piece is already built. The orange and green big triangle edge piece is in the way, but that's easy to move. So let's put this orange V section on the orange side of this orange and green edge. And you do this same way. Just get creative, do your corner style turns with that edge. Then bring this one in. And there you have it. So now that orange of the orange and green is done, so now you need to pair up this big green edge piece with these guys. It is possible to do this with the small triangle for this last one here, but you do have to get a little creative. So the little triangle is on the same piece as the 2 kite pieces that I'm looking to pair up with it. So I'm going to put those facing out, and then using my extra piece, so not the green and orange that I've already paired up, the extra one that isn't done anything properly with yet, I'm going to take this whole section here out and put it on this edge, and swapping this one over to here. And it's the same thing, you just got to use that corner technique to move those around. And now the little triangle and the 2 kite pieces are on separate spots, so I can use them. But because I don't have a third piece that I can move, because if I use this third piece and bring it in and replace it, then it's going to break up the green and orange bar pieces here and potentially mess up the orange V section that I've already got in place. So here's what you need to do. Take your kite piece, whichever one, doesn't matter, put it down bottom right, and then put the little triangle above it. And then for this one, I'm just going to do U, D, and then 2R, if I can. There we go. And then up inverse, down inverse. Now, what you need to do is flip this entire edge piece over so that when you undo that move you just did, the slice turn here, it will not hurt anything here. This green will be on the outside when you flip this edge over, so it'll travel as opposed to being broken up. And the way you do that is put it on the front and then do up, left inverse, up inverse, left, front, left, front, left inverse. That kept everything else where it was, didn't hurt this piece and didn't move this one here, but it flipped that whole edge piece over. And now you just do U, D, and undo that, and you've repaired everything that you broke apart, as well as having made one of the kite pieces attached to the little triangle. So now you got to get this kite piece away from this section so that you can have access to it to move it around. And this is the same thing. I'm just going to take this whole side out and replace it with this one so that they're on different pieces. So this is all very similar to the moves that you were using before in building the edge pieces. You just have to get kind of creative with how you preserve things and how you can move stuff around. So one last time here. This kite piece that needs to go here, I'm going to put on the bottom, and this I'm going to put here. So for this one, I'm going to do up inverse, down inverse, 2R, and then up, down. Now here you have to be very careful when you do this flipping algorithm to flip this edge piece over, because this edge piece has to go back in this exact same spot so that when you undo this move, you'll repair everything that you've taken apart here. So again, you put the piece that you want to flip in the front, and then it's up, left inverse, up inverse, left, front inverse, left, front, left inverse. If you do that right, it flipped over this whole edge and put this piece back where it needed to go so that now I can undo the jumbled style turn that I did. And now, if you notice, all of the green pieces here are paired up, ready to go. So I can do some more creative moving to put this green and orange edge in with this, and then put this whole piece in here. So the first thing I'm going to do is just put that adjacent, and I'm going to move this green and orange edge over, lined up with all the green here. So do that. So that's taken care of, and now I can take this whole green section, I'm putting it on the outside, and I can move it into this edge. And now you're left with two edges to reduce. And here's where things do get a bit more troublesome because you've got to use a couple of new algorithms here to move these kite pieces after you get as much of this built as you can. So I'll cover that in a second. All right, so at this point, you don't want to worry about the little triangles. You don't want to worry about the kite pieces. Your main concern is just making the dual color pieces here, so the bars and the big triangle, all match up so that everything is as solved as can be. I guess that's kind of the only way I can think to put it. But for first thing, you need to match up the bar pieces. Now, because you don't have any extra piece to work with, you have to do this a bit differently. Normally, you'd put the same color facing up and the same color facing down, and then use that cycle to pair them up and then move a new piece in and undo the moves. Here, you've got to do this more of a kind of edge reduction on a big puzzle type of way. So what I mean by that, I've got blue and orange here with blue facing up. I want to put this blue and orange one on the bottom, but I want to do it with orange facing down. So I do that. Now when I do my U and my D move, and then my 2R, what this is going to do is bring that blue, the other blue and orange, up to the top, replacing the one that I just originally had up here. But now I can do that same algorithm I was doing a minute ago to flip this whole edge piece and then undo that move. It'll bring the other blue one back up and bring the yellow and orange down to the bottom, pairing everybody with who they're supposed to be paired with. So again, that algorithm is U, L inverse, U inverse, L, front inverse, left, front, left inverse. And it flipped that whole edge section over. So now this is over here. And now when I do U and D, and then my 2R, helps if I use the right thing, doesn't it? That's better. Now when I do my 2R, not only does it repair all of the other pieces that were involved, but now my blue and orange bar pieces are paired up with each other, and my yellow and orange bar pieces are also paired up with each other. So at this point, you just have to do one final little move here to move the big triangles into the right place. And this is just what you've been doing before. You just got to make sure that you move the right color in to match the right color on the bar pieces. So here I've got the orange and yellow that I'm going to move over here with orange up. And here I've got the blue and orange that's going to move over here with orange up. And because of the way this algorithm works, they're both going to be fixed after I do this, which is just the corner style moves that I was doing before to move some folks around and get everybody where they need to be. And there you have it. So now the big triangles and the bar pieces are completely reduced. So the final step is to get the kite pieces and the little triangles taken care of. You want to do the kite pieces first because the algorithms that I have for this, a left-handed version and a right-handed version, they also move some of the little triangles in the process. But they're your basic 3 cycles that are going to be pretty easy to keep track of once you see it done a few times. They're not easy algorithms just because they're very long and there's kind of some weird details involved, but you should be able to make it work. So what this is going to do is it's going to take this kite piece from the top right, and it's going to move it down here to this one on the front left, and then this one is going to go down here to the spot that would be there. So you have to kind of keep track of what you're moving and what needs to go and be put in the right place. So for this blue one is going to come here, and this orange is going to come down here. So I want to put an orange face down here so that this at least lands in the right color. Because some of the little triangles are also involved, it's not going to be perfect, but those are easy to fix at the end. So again, this is going to come from here, this is going to go to here, and then this is going to come down to here. So the algorithm for this, and I will do this fairly slowly, but I'll also put the algorithm in the description so you can see it written out. So for this one, this is the right-handed version. It's U plus right, right, U plus right, right, U minus right, right. And then it's right inverse, or R minus rather, L plus, and then 2D. So down, down, and then R plus, L minus, and then right, right, U plus, right, right, U minus, right, right, U minus, right, right, and then R minus, L plus, 2D, R, L, and 2R. And as you can see, that blue has been fixed. It was up here. The orange that was down here moved up to the top here. And so there you go. The next one I'm going to show is the exact same algorithm, just on the left-hand side. So it accomplishes the same thing, just on the opposite side of the puzzle. So here, this orange is going to come to here. This blue is going to go down here. And then whatever's here is going to go up to the top. So since this blue one is going to go down here, I'd like to put a blue edge section down there so that it's the same color being involved. So now, again, this orange is going to come to here, this blue is going to come down here, and this blue one is going to jump up to the top here. So here we go. This is U minus 2L, U minus 2L, U plus 2L. And then the same little sequence of moves here. So R minus, L plus, down to the jumbling positions, and 2D, and then right and left to repair that. And then it's 2L, U minus, 2L, U plus, 2L, U plus, 2L, and then you do this little thing one more time to pair everybody back up, and there you have it. So I'll post both of those in the description below so you can see them. And I think if you've followed along with both of those well enough, and you should have the idea. So I'll also show you a very handy diagram that I've made of both of those algorithms. So feel free to pause the video here and use this if the algorithm by itself isn't doing enough for you.